Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Jeremy Allen Carp Angler. I'm going to just run through my March catch report with you and let you know how we got on fishing a couple of lakes during March this year, 2024. The first session of the month was round about, we did a 24-hour on the top lake, around about the 7th to the 8th of March. There's another one of those typical March days where we had everything weather-wise. We had a bit of rain, we had a bit of really cold overnight, got warmed up a bit in the morning, a bit more rain, and then actually I think the sun came out during the afternoon, so yeah, wasn't too bad. For that session we were set up in peg 7, the same peg that I was in the week before, where I had 6 fish, so I was hoping for a similar result, but unfortunately things didn't turn out that way. Fished the same 2 spots as I fished previous session. A right hand rod out into the middle of the lake with a Parker Baits OG Fish hardened hooker on, and the left hand rod about a third of the way out to a nice little hard clay spot I'd found out there the previous week. But yeah, it was not to be as good a session, but we still had one nice mirror of 17 pound 12 ounce, which are I've got some. It came during the night, came quarter past 10 at night, and fell to the left hand rod off that spot again, which produced the 5 fish the previous session. But was to be the only fish of the session. It was a nice mirror carp, 17 pound 12 ounce, one of the older residents of the lake, fish that I caught on a couple of occasions. I've had him as big as 19 pound, but on this occasion he was down to 17, 12. I'll put a couple of pictures up for you to have a look at him now. Yeah, so second session was the following week, around about 13th, 14th of March, and went back into peg 7, continue with the 2 spots I'd got going in that swim. Right hand rod was sort of out 7.5 wraps into the centre of the lake at about sort of 11 o'clock direction. Sorry, no, about 1 o'clock direction, and the left hand rod was out sort of 6.25 wraps at about sort of what I would call 11 o'clock direction. Yeah, much better session than this. Then the last first bite came at 10:30, and yeah, managed to get one of the bigger, or arguably the biggest resident in the lake, the big common, at a weight of 34 pounds 6 ounces. Yeah, I think it's the 3rd or 4th time I've had him from the lake. Yeah, he was kind of I've definitely had him 3 times, and possibly the 4th time may well have been the backup common. Looking at the pictures, subsequently the backup common, I caught him the previous August, and yeah, I think now it was the backup common. So I've definitely had the big common 3 times, and interestingly, each time have been sort of from middle to the end of March. The first time I had him was last week of March, beginning of April, 2 years ago, at a weight of 34 pound from peg 9. And interestingly, that day it was the first time I'd used the Parker Baits OG Fish at the lake, and I caught him off the pole. Anybody who knows the lake will know I mean. And yeah, he came out at 34 pound on the nose on that occasion. And then last year, again, I think it was the last week of March, I was fishing game peg 9, but this time I was casting out towards peg 2 into the centre of the lake there, and he came out at his biggest weight I've ever caught him at 34 pound 8 on that occasion. But yeah, this time I had him from peg 7, right hand rod, again at sort of centre of the lake, and he came on a Parker Baits OG Fish hardened hooker. So yeah, I was well pleased with that, and yeah, I'll put some pictures up of him on the screen for you now. Yeah, so well pleased with having caught the big common again, and yeah, the next bite of the session was it was a bit like Little and Large, really. It was one of the second bite came 2:30 in the morning. It was one of the smaller residents, one of the small mirrors came out. It was probably about £2, if that. He was one of the tiny little ones that have come from a successful spawning we've had in the lake a couple of years ago. They just some of them you know, around the sort of £2, £3 mark, but some of those fish now are getting up to £4 and £5, so they're sort of won't be long before they're up to double figures themselves. So yeah, we're letting some of the mirrors sort of grow on a bit and come through. But yeah, that was the only 2 bites I had that session. I'll say only 2. I was well pleased with the one catching a big common again, and yeah, so I packed up the next morning and brought that session to a close. Yeah, so the third session of the month came around 21st into the 22nd of March, and for sort of reasons that were going on, things that were going on at home, I had to bring Maya, my dog, with me for a first overnight session. She's veteran are coming on day sessions with me, and but I've always tended to leave her at home on overnights. But on this occasion, she came along with me. We weren't sure how she was going to behave, but whether she'd get bored at sort of 11:30 and want to come home, and I'll be packing up early and coming home, or during the night, or what she would do. But but she was behaved impeccably, and I think she got on her bed pretty much soon after I got set up, and went to sleep until sort of 2:30 in the morning. I think was the next time she moved. On the fishing front, turned out to be another sort of red letter session. Set up this time in peg 2, and the right hand rod was sort of cast out what I call a sort of 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock spot again, and it was sort of 8 wraps into the centre of the lake. Left hand rod was about 11 o'clock, 8 wraps into the centre of the lake, both with Parker Baits OG Fish hardened hookers on them as hook baits. And yeah, first fish came at 8 o'clock. That was a nice little mirror of £12. And I'll put a couple of pictures up for you to have a look at him now. So it was a good start, and then yeah, didn't have to wait long for the second bite. And at sort of 10 o'clock, same rod, the right hand rod, went again, and I had a nice mirror, slightly bigger mirror this time, a £17.4 again on the right hand rod, and yeah, he was not very good pictures of him, I'm afraid, as my photography wasn't great at that point of this one. The light kept reflecting off of the fish as I took the photos. So yeah, not great, but I'll put a couple of pictures up for you now to have a look at. So yeah, 2 fish in, and sort of think I'd settled down for the night shortly after that, and was awoken again at 2:30. Again, the right hand rod had gone off again, and yeah, produced the biggest fish of the session. That was a nice common of £24, 12 ounces on this occasion. And yeah, I put a couple of pictures up for you to have a look at that one. I think it was on this point that Maya stirred for the first time, and yeah, it was 3 fish in before she actually woke up and looked at any of them. So that was good. But yeah, put a couple of pictures up for you to have a look at now. so shortly after dealt with that fish, sort of went back to bed, and 4:30 was awoken again. Again, it was a right hand rod that had gone off again, and this time was a mirror of £16 12 ounces. So, and that was to be the sort of action. Died down a little bit after that for the rest of the night, and got a bit of sleep after that. But I put a couple of pictures up of him now for you to have a look at. So I managed to get some sleep after that, and then when light came, I moved the left hand rod out from the centre of the lake that hadn't produced anything at all, and I bait poled him down the right hand margin under a tree stump that's poking out down there. I think in my top lake video you'll see the spot I'm talking about, as I think I got a tench from under there on that occasion, and then a 21-pound mirror on that video. But on this occasion I put one down there, and it was just past midday that rod went off, and they had a nice common of just under £10, £9, 14 ounces to be exact. And I've got a little picture up of him now. So was there any further action after that, and I think I packed up sort of about 2:30 in the afternoon and went home. But brilliant session with 5 fish on this occasion. Maya behaving impeccably, so everything went well. So again returned back to the top lake on the following week, and there was a few more people fishing on that occasion, and we ended up over the other side of the lake this time, set up in Peg 9. Maya was with me again for a second overnight trip, and this one wasn't to be as eventful as the first one, but we set up in Peg 9. The right hand rod was out to the pole on the right hand margin, and with a Parker Baits hardened hooker on that one, and the left hand rod went out towards Peg 2 in the centre of the lake, and again same hook bait on that one. Nothing fancy, just a couple of mesh bags went out, and catapulted a few boilies around the area, no more than sort of half a dozen or so around each spot, and sat back to see what happened. And luckily, just half past midnight, the left hand rod went off, and we had one of the fully scaled residents of the lake, and he's a fish fully scaled, come out at £19 8 ounces on this occasion. I'll put a couple of pictures up for you to have a look at. Fish I caught the previous April, I think it was, from Peg 1, and he was £18, I think 14 ounces on that occasion, so he's up sort of half a pound on what he was on the previous capture. But I put a couple of pictures up for you now to have a look at him. Unfortunately that was to be the only capture on that session, and so we packed up the following afternoon with no farther bites, and brought that session to a close. I'd also, during March, I'd done a couple of sessions on the brick pit, as I call it. First session, again, we did a day session around about the 4th of March, beginning of the month, and fishing in Peg 14 out to the sort of snag over the other side, although not tight to it, sort of probably about 3/4 of the way over to it. And on that occasion, had a couple of fish, First one being sort of 11:40 in the morning. Right hand rod went off, and had a little common of £8 10 ounces, and again, and then that afternoon, just sort of 10 to 3ish, the same rod went off again and had a nice mirror of £9 6 ounces. I'll put a couple of pictures up of both of them on the screen now for you to have a little look at. Yeah, the second session we did on the brick pit came on the 11th of March. Again, fishing peg 14, same spots as the previous session, and yeah, managed to get 3 carp on this occasion. A mirror of £7.5, really stunning looking fish that took a couple of pictures off because it's a scale pattern on them looked lovely, and it was generally a good fish to have a look at. And it's followed with a couple of commons, a small one of £8 which I didn't photograph, and another one of £10 10 ounces towards the end of the afternoon, which I did take a picture of. Yeah, the fish sort of came in sort of regular intervals, one at 11:30, one at sort of 12:30, and one at sort of 10 to 4. So I was sort of thinking about packing up for the day. So it was a good little session on there for March. So I was well pleased with that. I'll put some pictures up now, and you can have a look at those. And generally, thanks for watching. And if you like watching the videos that I'm putting up, have a little look at. Please give us a like and a subscribe, and helps other people direct to the channel, and they can enjoy the videos as well. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.